The clock on my wall struck 12. A low, hollow sound echoed through my small apartment. I sat alone in my living room with only the dim yellow lamp glowing beside me. The night felt unusually still. Even the wind outside had fallen silent. I shifted in my chair. A strange tightness pressed against my chest. Something in the air felt wrong. Too quiet. Too heavy. Then I heard it. A single knock at my front door. Sharp. Clear. Unexpected. My breath froze. No one ever visited me at this hour. No one ever knocked on my door without calling first. The sound had come from deep within the wooden frame, as if someone had struck it with controlled force. I stood up slowly. My legs felt weak. The floor creaked under my bare feet. The hallway felt darker than usual as I approached it. The light switch flickered when I touched it. The shadows stretched across the walls like long fingers. My heartbeat grew louder with every small step I took. I reached the door. I placed my hand on the cold metal handle. I hesitated. Another knock came. This time softer. Almost polite. Almost familiar. A faint smell drifted through the tiny gap beneath the door. It was a scent I could not place. Something earthy. Something old. Something that made the hair on my arms rise. I swallowed hard. My throat felt dry. I forced myself to speak. My voice barely came out. Who is there? No answer. Only the whisper of the air vent above me. I leaned closer to the door. My ear pressed against the wood. I listened. For a moment I heard nothing. Only the distant hum of the refrigerator behind me. Then a sound slithered through the silence. A slow inhale. Someone was standing on the other side. My heartbeat stumbled. My fingers trembled around the handle. A warm breath pushed through the gap beneath the door and brushed against my toes. I stepped back instantly. The knock came a third time. Quieter than a whisper, yet it shook me from the inside. I forced myself to look through the peephole. The hallway outside was dimly lit by the flickering overhead bulb. The air looked thick, almost foggy. No one was standing there. But the sound came again. A single, steady tap. Not on the door this time. From behind me. I turned around slowly. My entire body felt cold. The lamp in the living room flickered. The shadows shifted. From the center of my apartment came one more knock, as if someone was calling me from the darkness within my own home. From the center of my apartment came one more knock, as if someone was calling me from the darkness within my own home. My breath caught in my throat. The knock echoed in my chest, low and deliberate, as if it had always belonged here. I took a small step backward, pressing my spine against the cold front door. The wood vibrated gently, as if something unseen pushed from both sides of the apartment at once. The faint yellow light from the living room swayed. Its glow bent slightly, as if the air around it had thickened. I stared into the shadowed corner where the sound had come from. A place that had always been empty. A place that should still be empty. The quiet pressed against me like a weight. I forced my feet forward. One slow step, then another. My fingers brushed the wall for support. Its paint felt rougher than I remembered. Almost gritty, almost warm. The air smelled different. A dusty scent rose from the floorboards. Something faintly metallic lingered beneath it. My heart beat harder, resonating against my ribs like a fist pounding from the inside. I reached the center of the room. I stood exactly where the knock should have come from. Nothing was there. No person. No object. No reason. But the sound had been real. I had felt it. I had heard it. A soft vibration rippled through the floor beneath my feet. My toes tingled. The vibration moved upward through my legs, slow and steady. It felt like something was crawling under the planks. I crouched down and placed my palm on the wooden boards. They were warm. Warm like a living thing. Warm like breath. A whisper rose from below. Not a voice. More like movement. Something shifting. Something gathering. My hand jerked away on instinct. I rose to my feet quickly, stumbling backward. The lamp blinked, brightened, and then dimmed again. The shadows stretched across the room like they were reaching for me. The knock came again, this time right behind me. I spun around. My throat tightened. The sound had come from the wall near the hallway. A soft, slow tap. Like knuckles brushing the other side of the plaster. I stepped closer. The wall looked normal. Plain white, a faint crack near the baseboard. Nothing unusual, nothing that should knock. Another tap, this one higher, a foot above the last spot, as if something was moving. Inside the walls, my voice sounded small when it left my mouth. Who is in there? The answer was silence. Then a dragging sound, a long scrape moving upward inside the wall. The sound rose slowly toward the ceiling. The hairs on my arms stood straight. My shoulders tightened. The scraping stopped. The entire apartment held its breath with me. Then something tapped right above my head. I jumped back, stumbling into the hallway. My shoulder hit the wall. The light flickered again. A faint hum filled the air. Not electrical, not mechanical. It sounded like someone breathing. From every corner of the apartment at once. I backed into the doorway of my bedroom. The air felt colder here. I pressed my back against the frame. My eyes darted from shadow to shadow. Then I heard footsteps. Soft, slow, measured. Not from the hallway, not from outside, from the living room, from the center of the apartment. From the same place where the knock had come from earlier. I held my breath. The footsteps grew clearer. They sounded bare. Skin meeting floor. A faint stick and release with each step. The steps approached the hallway. My throat tightened so much that breathing felt impossible. I tried to speak but no sound came out. My voice had abandoned me. The footsteps stopped at the entrance of the hallway. A few feet from me. I could not see anyone. But I felt a presence. A weight in the air. A pressure on my chest. The dim light above flickered again. This time longer. The darkness expanded, then shrank back, then expanded again, as if swallowing pieces of the space around it. A low whisper drifted from the unseen figure. Not a word, not a sentence, just a soft vibration, a sound that brushed against my ears and sank deep into my bones. My fingers trembled at my sides. My knees felt unsteady. Every instinct screamed for me to run. But my body refused to move. The whisper grew louder. The air thickened. My vision blurred slightly at the edges. Then the light stopped flickering. The hallway glowed steady and pale. The presence remained. Close. Quiet. Waiting. I slowly lifted my head and looked into the hallway. The air shimmered faintly, like heat rising from asphalt. But the night was cold. My apartment was colder. I blinked hard. My eyes focused. A shape stood in the hallway. Not clear. Not solid. A tall blur of shadow and light. Twisting gently, as if the air itself had taken form. My breath escaped in a small gasp. The shape tilted its head. The movement was slow, deliberate, almost curious. The knock came again, but this time, it came from inside my own chest. A heavy thud of fear that echoed through me, as the shape took one silent step forward. And the air around me began to shift. The air tightened around me. I watched as the shape drifted closer, its form bending and unfolding like smoke that refused to rise. My pulse hammered against my ribs, but my feet stood rooted to the floor. Every instinct urged me to run, yet something deeper urged me to stay. The shape stopped just a breath away from me. The shadows around it shifted and revealed something faint. A glimmer, a reflection, two pale eyes watching me through the haze. A quiet voice rose from the shape. This time it formed words. Soft, slow, weighted with something that felt almost familiar. You opened the door inside your own silence. A chill traced the length of my spine. The voice was not frightening because of its sound. It was frightening because I knew it. It was my own voice. Older, weaker, distant, as if spoken by a version of me I had forgotten long ago. The shape moved again. One small step. My breath wavered. The air felt warmer now, almost gentle, almost comforting. You have lived with a locked memory, the voice continued. A memory that knocked every night, waiting to be answered. My knees bent without meaning to. I sank slowly to the floor. My hand pressed against the wooden boards again. They no longer felt warm. They no longer vibrated. They felt steady and still, like the world had finally stopped shaking. The shape knelt across from me. Its outline faded slightly, as if light passed through it. The faint glimmer of its eyes softened. You are not here to fear me, it whispered. You are here to face what you shut away. The room dimmed again, not with danger, but with recognition. Something deep inside me stirred. Something I had buried so far that even the memory of hiding it had vanished. My breath steadied. My hands stopped trembling. The shape's edges shimmered as if dissolving. "You will remember now," it said. "You will open the night that changed you." The hallway light glowed brighter. The shadows shrank into the corners. The whispering air grew calm. A quiet peace settled over the apartment. The shape rose slowly. Its form stretched upward. Its eyes met mine one last time. I felt no fear, only a strange sadness, and an even stranger relief. The shape stepped back. It faded into the soft glow of the hallway light. Its form thinned, dimmed, and finally vanished like dust carried by a silent breeze. My apartment returned to itself. The floor felt firm. The light felt steady. The air felt warmer. I sat alone in the hallway for a long moment. My chest rose and fell with the unfamiliar rhythm of calm. Then, from the far corner of my memory, something opened. Something long forgotten flooded back into me. Clear, sharp, undeniable. The night that I had shut away. The truth that I had refused to face. The moment that had shaped everything that followed. And as the memory unfolded inside me, as clear as the knock that had echoed through my home, I understood why the shape had come, and why it had waited until midnight. Because the night I feared most was finally ready to be remembered.